Forbidden Zones, unveiling the unseen horrors that haunt our world. Dare to venture into the shadows where science and the supernatural collide? We are not just exploring haunted houses. We are diving into the heart of forbidden zones, where unseen forces and chilling histories converge to create places that defy explanation and ignite our deepest fears. Prepare to question everything you thought you knew about reality. Imagine a landscape where nature thrives, yet death lingers in every breath. This is the Chernobyl Exclusion Zone, a haunting paradox where beauty masks a terrifying truth. But what unseen sentinel guards its borders, making it a permanent ghost town? Nearly 4 decades after the catastrophic explosion at Reactor Number 4, the city of Pripyat remains a chilling testament to the power of invisible destruction. Nature may be reclaiming the land, but the soil, water, and air are saturated with a silent, deadly poison. This isn't just a story of a nuclear accident. It's a chilling exploration of enduring contamination. The initial disaster was a visible nightmare. Explosions, fire, and a massive radioactive plume spreading across Europe. But the true horror lies in the unseen. A cocktail of radioactive elements with incredibly long half-lives, silently wreaking havoc on a cellular level. These isotopes, like microscopic assassins, infiltrate the food chain, water systems, and even the very air we breathe. Caesium-137 mimics essential nutrients, infiltrating our bodies and irradiating us from within. Strontium-90 becomes part of our bones, a constant source of internal radiation. And then there are the truly terrifying elements like Plutonium-239, with a half-life that stretches for millennia, ensuring contamination for generations to come. The human cost was immediate and devastating. Firefighters and plant workers succumbed to acute radiation syndrome, their bodies ravaged by unseen forces. Lyudmila Ignatenko's account of her husband's agonizing death is a chilling reminder of radiation's insidious power. Hundreds of thousands of liquidators faced delayed health consequences, a grim legacy of their heroic efforts. Even everyday objects within Pripyat's abandoned apartments remain dangerously contaminated. Children's toys, books, and clothing, once symbols of life and comfort, are now silent, hazardous relics, saturated with Caesium-137. These mundane items serve as a constant reminder of how the invisible danger has permeated every aspect of life, turning the familiar into the forbidden. Today, the Chernobyl Exclusion Zone remains strictly controlled, a vast area where permanent resettlement is impossible. Limited tourist visits are allowed, but with strict rules: no touching, no sitting, and mandatory radiation checks. The new safe confinement, a massive steel arch, aims to contain the remaining materials, but the broader environmental contamination will persist for tens of thousands of years. So why does Pripyat remain off-limits, despite nature's apparent resurgence? The answer lies in the enduring presence of these invisible radioactive agents, microscopic particles that pose a constant threat of internal radiation. Every breath, every sip, every disturbed particle of dust carries a potential long-term hazard, making sustained human presence impossible for countless future generations. This silent, physical threat is a chilling reminder of the unseen dangers that lurk beneath the surface. But what about places where the unseen danger is etched not in atoms, but in human memory and suffering? Prepare yourself, because we're about to delve into a place where the echoes of the past are almost too real to bear. Some places are defined not by what you can see, but by what you can feel. A weight in the air, a chill that has nothing to do with temperature. What unseen events have stained these grounds so deeply that they repel the living, making it a magnet for paranormal activity? We turn our attention to Poveglia Island, a small, unassuming landmass in the Venetian lagoon, northern Italy. Its crumbling buildings and overgrown vegetation hide a dark and terrifying history. Those who have dared to venture near its shores report an overwhelming sense of unease, profound sadness, and a palpable malevolence clinging to the air. This atmosphere is not accidental. It is the product of centuries of concentrated human suffering, first as a lazaretto, a quarantine station for plague victims, and later as a mental asylum. Poveglia has become one of the most dreaded locations in Italy, a place where the veil between worlds seems thin and easily breached. During multiple outbreaks of the bubonic plague, Poveglia became a final destination for the dying and the dead. Ships suspected of carrying the contagion were directed here, and those afflicted were forcibly removed from Venice and abandoned on its shores to perish. It is estimated that tens of thousands, perhaps over 160,000 individuals, met their end on Poveglia, their bodies often disposed of in mass graves or burned on enormous pyres. Later, in the early 20th century, the existing buildings were converted into a psychiatric hospital. As was common for asylums of that era, rumors quickly spread of mistreatment, neglect, and unethical experiments performed on patients. This known history forms a grim foundation, but the profound dread associated with Poveglia suggests something more, a deeper saturation of despair that goes beyond historical record alone. The sheer scale of death during the plague years permanently altered Poveglia. The island served not just as a quarantine, but as a charnel ground. When space ran out for individual burials, vast pits were dug, into which countless bodies were thrown, often with little ceremony. The ground itself is said to be thick with human ash and bone fragments, a chilling testament to the island's dark past. The conversion of Poveglia into a mental asylum in 1922 did little to cleanse its dark past. Instead, it added new layers of suffering. The facility housed individuals with various mental illnesses, but also, it is rumored, political undesirables or those inconvenient to their families. Conditions in early to mid-20th century asylums were often dire, with overcrowding, poor sanitation, and a limited understanding of mental health leading to inhumane treatment. Reports and local legends speak of a particular doctor who conducted crude and often brutal experimental procedures on patients, including lobotomies. These operations, performed with basic tools like ice picks, were intended to calm agitated patients but often resulted in severe personality changes, catatonia, or death. The suffering within the asylum walls was intensely personal and prolonged for those institutionalized there. This accumulation of intense human suffering seems to have left an indelible mark on the island, a concept explored in the idea of negative place memory. This psychological theory suggests that locations subjected to severe and repeated trauma can develop an atmosphere that reflects that history. The intense emotions experienced, fear, pain, despair, grief, are not simply forgotten, but become deeply associated with the physical environment. On Poveglia, centuries of such events have created a powerful negative place memory. It's as if the island itself has absorbed the psychic residue of its past, retaining a palpable sense of the horror it witnessed. This is not a supernatural claim in itself, but rather an acknowledgement of how profoundly humans can be affected by the known history and subsequent atmosphere of a place so steeped in tragedy. The island's reputation is further fueled by numerous unsettling accounts from those who have dared to approach or explore it. Fishermen have long reported catching human bones in their nets in the waters surrounding Poveglia. Visitors, often paranormal investigators or urban explorers trespassing on the Forbidden Island, frequently describe a heavy, oppressive feeling descending upon them as they near its shores. Common reports include hearing disembodied whispers, agonized cries, and chilling moans carried on the wind, particularly near the dilapidated asylum buildings and the old bell tower. Some have claimed to see fleeting apparitions, shadowy figures moving within the overgrown courtyards or peering from broken windows. Sudden, inexplicable drops in temperature, even on warm days, and the overwhelming sensation of being watched or even physically touched by an unseen presence are also frequently cited. One particularly disturbing account concerns the doctor who allegedly performed unethical experiments in the asylum. Legend says that he began to be tormented by the spirits of his victims, hearing their tortured cries and seeing their spectral forms. Eventually, driven mad by guilt and these apparitions, he is said to have climbed the asylum's bell tower and thrown himself to his death. Today, Poveglia Island remains strictly off-limits to the public. Owned by the Italian state, access is forbidden without explicit official permission, which is rarely granted. Local Venetians largely avoid it, and many boat operators are reluctant to take visitors anywhere near its shores, partly due to its grim reputation, and partly due to the superstitions that have grown around it for generations. The chilling atmosphere of Poveglia arises not from mythical monsters, but from the sheer, concentrated weight of human history and its psychological aftermath. The documented horrors of disease and inhumane treatment, layered over centuries, have combined with consistent anecdotal experiences of profound unease and paranormal phenomena. This creates an unseen environment where the accumulated anguish of countless individuals feels almost like a tangible presence, a pervasive sense of sorrow and dread that makes Poveglia Island terrifying far beyond its crumbling structures and overgrown pathways. From invisible radiation to the unseen scars of history, these forbidden zones challenge our understanding of danger. They remind us that the most terrifying places often conceal their true threats, not in visible monsters, but in unseen forces like radiation, persistent toxins, or the deep stain of human tragedy. These forbidden zones, bearing the unseen decay and hidden scars of history, are stark reminders of our vulnerability and the lasting impact of our actions or nature's unforgiving power. They fascinate, representing the ultimate unknown where safety and peril are precariously close. What other hidden dangers, like open wounds in our world, might be lurking in plain sight? And what does our curiosity about these perilous places reveal about our fundamental human nature? The answers, like the dangers themselves, may be closer than we think. Are you ready to delve deeper into the world of the paranormal and the unexplained? Subscribe to our channel for more investigations into forbidden zones and the unseen forces that shape our reality. Share this video with your fellow paranormal enthusiasts and let us know in the comments which forbidden zone you'd dare to explore. And remember, the truth is out there, waiting to be discovered.